we'll kind of talk about the transition of the business.
Yeah.
So, well, before we do though, 2016, when did you have your daughter?
I had her in, what year are we in?
2023.
Okay, I had her in 2020.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so you became a new mom
In COVID.
and the pandemic at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, your title, girl, is like for the last two.
Truly, and it was exactly when you turned 30.
Yeah.
30, new mom, COVID.
Pivot business. Yeah.
What
Figuring
was
it all
that
out.
like for you?
A storm. I will say, and I think, like, I kid you not, like, it's not like I'm roomy over here or anything like that, but like it was intense. Well, let me tell you this, it was a blessing in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Cryothletics was already going to pivot. It was already going to transition. I was getting access a lot for consulting, for opinions on cryotherapy applications in the sports field or for cryotherapy devices from manufacturers. Like, I was really getting, like, I don't want to say headhunted, but like reached out to for that type of advice. And I realized in that moment that I wanted to reach a far broader audience than in Boston, like door to door. And I was like, how do I do that? And it's through education. So at the time I was like, how am I going to be able to reach, you know, people were like even saying to me like, oh, I wish Cryothletics was here, or athletes that traveled. They were like, oh, I wish I could access. I was like, you know, I would look up places like in different cities, like there's a cryo place there. And the feedback that I was getting at the time was like, yeah, but I kind of want, like, you know what you're talking about because you're a sports therapist. And I was like, huh. And so then it really dawned on me, like, well, if that's how you feel and it's more about the person behind it, then maybe it isn't just like what I need to be able to reach further. And that comes with education.
Yeah.
And COVID happened. And COVID shut everything down. But it was a blessing because it really helped the pivot. It shoved the pivot, like, booted it in the back.
Yeah.
But I had to take like a solid year and a half. I would say close, like she just turned 2 in September, and I would say 18 months to 2, like the cloud started to lift. I was in like a clouded area for like a very long time because it just takes over your life.
Yeah.
But it put a lot into perspective for me. So like I'm a way better person from the core out, but you prioritize differently. Things that mattered before don't matter anymore. And so in all of that, it sort of helped the business pivot even more because the business is me and I'm the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was a big transition, big life transition, but necessary, needed, and it really, really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like people are getting a way better version of me now for work. Yeah, for sure.
It was a hard time for everybody, but I mean, that's unbelievably stressful for you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And I hope that you're very proud of yourself because you should be. B, I think it shows people's true colors when like your back's against the wall. It's like you're getting asked to do this one thing, right? Your people are saying they want you to do more of this consulting, which is, you know, I'm coming to you, or I'm in person, I'm traveling. And then all of a sudden the world says that's not going to happen. So you're forced to come up with this creative solution. And being the innovative person that you are, I'm not surprised that you did, but that might not be the most difficult thing if you also didn't have a new little girl.
I know.
And if like you're okay, like saying this, like you're raising by yourself.
Yeah.
So that's a lot for one person to deal with.
Yeah, it's the adjustment of motherhood. Like honestly, like you said, your back's against the wall with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And you have a choice at that point in your life. Like, how am I going to handle this? And am I going to do this in a classy way? Or like, and I can just tell you, like, anyone that's had a kid, literally nothing else matters than how it affects that kid.
Yeah.
So I just thankfully, granted, very tough families at a distance, far distance. So that made it really tough.
Yeah, it's not like, Mom, can you come watch her? I got to do this for a little bit.
That was the toughest part, I will say. That was
with really no support system.
Thank God my friends know who they are, but thank God for the video calls and the time differences and the middle of the nights. But like, it was like survival. I kid you not. But it was weird. The universe has ways of talking to you. My daughter definitely pulled me out and through a lot of things, because when you have somebody that's dependent on you, you have to make decisions that's going to be in the best interest of not just her, but you and her, because she needs you. Yeah. So like you handle yourself very differently, or you should. You handle yourself very differently. Your choices are, you have about a 2 to, every new mom knows about this, you have like a 2 to 3 hour window where it's like feed, wash everything, maybe nap, and then it's back to the same thing. So like you get your timing on point, girl, and sleep is like imperative. But yeah, it was like, and then as I started...
So you hear that Dee says, if you're having trouble with your time management skills, don't have a baby. It'll put you into shape.
I know. What's so funny is I thought about that when I first came here, and I was like, I probably shouldn't encourage it, like as if to say, have a kid, everyone. No. It's very tough.
I think that's really actually encouraging to hear, though, because most would, I think, assume, God, it's going to be just, this like shit show and so disorganized. I'm not going to get through it, which... It will be those things, but there is that light at the end of the tunnel, and there's light. Will fall into place.
Yeah, there's light. There is. And the right people pull through for you. You find a lot of answers in those moments. Yeah. You find who's there, who's not, what's important, what's not. And my first year was fully devoted to literally surviving and making sure she's surviving. Mm-hmm. And then the universe started coming around for me again. And COVID started shutting down a little bit more again, or what I should say, opening up again. Yeah. But then the questions were coming back to me. And honestly, I was ready to fold. I was ready to fold on everything. I'm a very proud person, so I would never say that. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, oh yeah, and I'm so strong, and I am, but I had moments of maybe I should just find a 9-to-5.
Wow. Yeah. You were really going to give it all up.
I was going to give it all. I my back was so much against the wall that I was just like, I don't know. Yeah. Your mind just goes to different places. And I just was like, it's shut down. I don't know how I don't know if I'm even needed anymore. I don't know. Yeah, so you go through a lot of doubt, and all I cared about was her, to be honest, and to make sure we were okay and safe and comfortable, and I just didn't know. And then the questions, I had, my brother, to be honest, he was a big rock for me. In a lot at such.
He seems like a constant for you throughout this whole thing.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. And I did talk to him, and that's where the innovative idea came back around, because I was like, I'm getting asked these questions again, but I don't, Cryothletics is shut down as it was, and I don't, and we came up with the idea of the new product.
Okay. I feel like these people are like, will you just say it already? But just quickly to wrap this part up, I'm literally getting chills as you're talking. It's just so apparent how in love you are with your little girl, and you guys have been through it together, which has only brought you closer. And I love that you have this appreciation for her, and she almost was a rock for you in a lot of ways, because you couldn't fail because you had her to take care of. But I love when we get to talk about motherhood. We don't very often on this show. And I think a lot of times, it's because I want to make people that maybe aren't there yet because they haven't had the opportunity not feel like they're behind the game, because times are changing. But I also it is very real. The other side is that there are a lot of women in our 30s that do have babies and are mothers, and they're juggling it all. So that was just really special. Shout out to the mamas. I love it.
And you don't have to be owning your own business and doing it all at the same time. Trust me, it is a grind. It's the most important job, and as long as you and your your child is happy, your children are happy. Shout out to all the mothers. My mom knows, like, I have apologized to her for several things since I became a mother. I'm like, I get it. I totally understand now. I couldn't have had her a moment sooner, though. 30 was the perfect age for me to have her, and honestly, probably even after.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many women I know in their 20s that are having kids, and I literally praise them. I'm like, girl, like, I could have never.
Yeah.
You know? So it's everyone's time. It's their own time, and it works in its own way. It worked out for me perfectly. Didn't think it would, but like it did. And yeah, women, like, shout out, I'm sorry, women are just unstoppable for the most part. Like your body, your body and your mind and what we're actually capable of, like, we're